So
accommodation, which is 3-storey, I believe, somewhere.
yes, that's right. Yeah, 2 to 3 stories. So, yep. There's a little in the. I'd advise you to, if you're really interested, to have a look at the initial advice statement, which will be up on the website. It runs to 60 pages, and it's got about another 60 pages of layouts and where things are on the ground and what the layouts inside these buildings look like, or what they're proposed to look like. So there's some sporting facilities for the students, I guess, and for others. There's an equestrian facility. It mentions accommodation but doesn't quote what the accommodation is. There's the remaining 123 villas, and these are the ones that can take up to 6 people. There's then a 5-star resort to be built with 200 villas. These are just single bedroom as far as we can see. There's a natural lagoon, but it's referred to but not shown exactly where it is. Well, at least we couldn't work it out from the layouts. And then this medical retreat is actually in stage 3. So that'll be in 2022, and it's got 60 suites. So they look like they're double beds as well.
And when you compare the actual, the number of people that will be housed, and look at the area of the land that will take up, see, that medical retreat is 5.6 hectares. So that's no small facility, is it?
So overall, the development site is 625 hectares. That's what the 12 rural blocks cover at the moment. And this development will cover around about 230 of those hectares. I just want to draw your attention to the fact that 600 square metres is actually smaller than any, other than the main street of Kuranda. It's probably smaller than any other block in the Kuranda township right now.
It's not the beach-sized blocks, basically.
Yeah.
Just a question, does state government planning override local government here in Mareeba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in this case, Mareeba Shire Council doesn't have anything to do with the approval process.
But they still have to consider the local council's planning scheme.
Beg your pardon?
They still have to consider the local council's planning scheme, so the same planning will apply.
Yeah, well, at the moment it's rural, zoned rural.
That's right. So at some point there will need to be a material change of use submitted to the local council.
At the moment it still falls under the old Myola town plan.
The Myola
and
town...
Another question to that was, I was at the council meeting when they rescinded all the road reserves in those 12 areas. And no mention of, money would be nice. Know where that went? Is it a freebie?
I'd actually like the 50 acres back. It's 50 acres of total road space, and I think we should clip it off the corner at the very minimum.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's, why
Shouldn't
it's
be
special.
free though.
Why
Shouldn't
it
be
be
free.
free?
Okay.
Applications for, oh no, it's for, for road closure supposed to be advertised.
Well, I haven't seen anything advertised.
Yes, there was a process that went on in February and March this year. It was advertised. You could submit, and then they've gone through, and I think those submissions closed in March, and then it went through a process.
And we did submit.
And we did submit. So.
But it might not be finalised, because someone said it takes up to a year for them to be finally closed. I'm not sure.
Well, I got all of the 3-minute mention.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yes, I'm sure it was a fait accompli there. Okay, let's have a look at what infrastructures will be needed. So 600 square metres, that lets you, you really must have town water. You can't go less than an acre, I don't think, under the current planning scheme without town water. So we're going to see some upgrades to the existing reservoirs, no doubt. The sewerage.
And who's to pay for that?
One would expect...
Raises a question, doesn't it?
Yes. So it's proposed for on-site treatment. That's got some of its own risks. To what level will it be treated? What will happen to the what comes out of the sewage treatment plant? Right now, our one in Kuranda here gets dropped into Jumrum Creek, and if anyone's actually been to look at the creek before and after the treatment station, they can actually see the decrease in the quality of the water. And right now, out there on that block, the only places to put such treated water would be straight down the creeks, the existing creeks out there, Worrell and Owen. Okay, so otherwise, there's Barnwell Road to the sewer line that would require some upgrading of the...
They don't say they're going to do that. They do say it will all be treated on site. All the sewage will be treated on site, and it requires the support and cooperation of the Mareeba Shire Council in doing that.
there was an alternative, however, and that was to put it down Barnwell
Did
Road
they say?
to the sewer line, yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. No, I read into that further because I was concerned. The stormwater, they're saying no external works are required. What that means is that they should be handling that on site. Most new developments, for instance in Forest Gardens, if you go down to Cairns, you'll see the blocks are very close together, 450 square metre blocks. There is a large area where all the stormwater is collected. It looks like a sort of grassed basin, and it often has water in it. It's like a lagoon. That's the usual way that developments have to treat their stormwater to try and improve the quality of that water before it flows out into the natural, the rest of the system. They're saying here that could change as the project progresses. That's a concern because, again, stormwater and the way it normally is treated is not done well typically, and we'll talk about that in a bit later. The roads. So there's a new Mile of Road intersection. If any of you know that Kuranda Heights Road coming off there, that's kind of looks very tricky. Other set of lights maybe, who knows. But the main thing here is no expectation that the range road will be upgraded. So we're talking 4,100 people, possibly, and no upgrade to the range road. And the internet capability is not good around Kuranda, so what's going to happen there? Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick look at how this is going to affect the environment. What we've done here is overlaid the main part of the development on top of the block. So the yellow outlines are the actual titles, the current titles, and the pink part there is where, and you can sort of see houses and like lines that indicate roads. So that's the houses all along the sides of the roads. In this area here, very tightly spaced. It's the golf course running through here. So all of these premium villas, which can take up to 6 people, are all situated around the outside of the golf course. These green dots here, we can't show everything on here in terms of the wildlife. There's 2 critically endangered species, there's 20 endangered species and 13 vulnerable species listed for this block, set of blocks. With these green dots, we've shown where the actual Myola frog, or rather the Kuranda tree frog, actually exists in the creek. So this is Owen Creek here, and this is Worrell Creek coming in on the side here. In fact, the Worrell Creek Basin is all around here. So even this development section here actually affects Worrell Creek. So the frogs have been recorded where all those green dots are, and yellow is the habitat. Is that right?
I rely on keys, I'm sorry. I'll put it on for the video.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. They're there.
Yeah, that's the point. And they're right there in the, in the developed area. So anything that affects these creeks is going to have a dramatic effect upon those frogs. And there aren't a lot of them. And there aren't a lot of creeks that they're in around here.
And it's been attributed national conservation standard, hasn't it?
So it's got international critical endangered status, and we've been monitoring these frogs in these 2 creeks and other creeks for the last 3 years with a grant, an international grant.
Right.
That's Kuranda Envirocare has been. Okay, so what's been happening is there's been clearing going on. The clearing that's been done was initially said to be just clearing of old regrowth, but actually when you look at the clearing you find that it matches exactly the proposal footprint. So it's not about the rural farming operation really. So that's quite clear now. So habitat has already been cleared and damaged. There has been a dam put in, and the face of that dam eroded. We'll show you some photos of that in a minute. And that has trashed some of the habitat already for the Kuranda tree frog. Besides putting sediment down the creeks into the Barron River, and it's sitting there ready now to be washed out to the reef when we get our next wet season. So the corridor connectivity will be broken with that development. We have Envirolink corridor running through that area there, and so putting a bunch of houses like that right in the smack in the middle of it is going to break that connectivity. We have had sighting of a cassowary off of Kingfisher Drive, which is just beside Barnwell Road. So clearly the area is being used by cassowary. We're going to get water quality loss. Already what's happened is there's been sheet flow happened in December after all the clearing was done of the trees. That was done so badly that the loose soil simply just washed down both Worrell and Owen Creek. So we can expect to see more of that. The intensive urban development creates other problems. So you can imagine 600 square metres, you haven't got a lot of grass area around your house, you've got a driveway, and then you came in by a road. So there's lots of hard surfaces. Hard surfaces, when rain hits it, water ends up running, it runs fast. It gets collected together, it runs even faster, and then it starts to have real power in terms of erosive abilities. So we can expect to see these damaging stormwater flows.